Oh, hey guys, you know where it's at.
That's on YouTube.
That's right, guys. An amazing new video released. Oh, wow. I'm going to squeeze a lot of content out of this one. I'm really going to do this one. They're calling themselves the League of Troubled Gentlemen.
Holy crap, pornography was doing all this damage. And then you sort of see it from way above.
Porn is a killer. That's a drug. It's devastated. It's destroyed families. It's destroyed my family.
Oh, yeah, hey, I'm mad. My girlfriend, wife left me. Kim Kardashian.
Porno's destroyed my family.
Porn is not just sexual. That term actually relates to torture. Like, that's called torture porn.
There's also food porn. How do you explain that?
Owned.
That's in the Bible.
There's also food porn.
Yeah, great. So I think that in general, this riveting conversation, it's about ideas, all right? Huh?
This conversation is about beautiful ideas, but I would say, in general...
The discussion about whether or not Nazis are good, whether or not people in the midst of a mental breakdown should get help, these. But there is one lesser discussed part of this amazing interview, which is a thing that's kind of been tearing across the internet, the Joe Rogan sphere, whatever other dumb crap.
Porn is a killer. That's a drug.
It's me. Porno ruined my family, not, the way I act. It's the porno. So blah, blah. Anyway, these guys go on and on about this, how porn is the real scourge. Watching people and doing reverse. So I says to myself, let's take the bait. Let's take the bait. Let's take the bait and waste. How did that guy say it? Waste.
And unfortunately, we wasted so much time yesterday running down this false claim.
Let's throw a bunch of time right down the toilet. All right, so the first thing that I found, is that the survey data for pornography viewership, I don't know, for doing this. It's always a majority of people in these surveys, but the actual number is all over the place. There's one study where it's like 58% of people report that they watch pornography. Then it's like, then another survey was 73% of women and 98% of men. So either way, it's a majority of people. But probably the more important, more solid number is that people who have like a porn addiction, people who have some kind of a porn addiction where it's becoming a real problem in their life, they want to stop but they can't, it's interfering with their normal life, is somewhere around 3 to 6%. But nonetheless, conservatives are going to lead the charge. They're going to lead the charge. Conservatives are going to lead the charge against this. Because
That's in the Bible.
They're going to lead the charge against porn viewership, conservatives. And I found a very hilarious study when it comes to that one. This study is called Do People in Conservative States Really Watch More Porn? A hierarchical analysis. I do science, Oh, shut up, man. You think you're better than me? Basically, this entire study can be summed up in this one graph, okay? So they looked at evangelicals in and outside of conservative states, okay? Non-evangelicals, across the board, watch pretty much the same amount of pornos. They do this. They do that, they do this. Non-evangelicals watch pretty much the same amount of porn, around 3.8 units. Here's where it gets a little weird. Evangelicals who live in a less politically conservative state, okay, less politically conservative, watch slightly less pornos. Slightly less, as you can see. The non-evangelicals, they watch about, 3.8, whatever. These watch about 3.4. So 0.4 less. The people, and by the way, there's not much variation. Everybody's kind of doing this on the computer. That's, by the way, kind of the real takeaway from this graph is just everybody watches pornos online, these perverts. But the people who watch the most porno in this very detailed study are evangelicals living in more politically conservative states. That's the bar all the way to the right. In other words, the people in the prime places to walk that walk about pornos are going the opposite direction with the porno. And the study was published February 26, 2020. And their explanation is pretty amazing and fascinating. Applied to our findings here, we propose that although evangelical Protestants might be less inclined than other Americans to view pornography at the individual level, evangelicals who live in a more politically conservative state may find themselves within a cultural and social context in which overt and interpersonal sexual exploration is discouraged. You know, they're not allowed to do this or this, you know, out in public. So interpersonal sexual exploration is discouraged and thus may internalize more pressure to engage in more covert modes of sexual exploration. Wow. You know what that means? Doing this.
CK Louis.
That wasn't even intentional. But him too. Absolutely. So that means more people are doing this on the computer. So to sum this whole thing up, this huge study about pornos and conservatism and religion and all this stuff, to sum this whole thing up is that basically everybody watches pornos, basically the same amount. So this is just a dumb losing battle, waste of time. But if you really want to get people to watch more pornos, hit them with some weird religious stuff. Okay, so the other thing is, whoa, you know, I'm on Joe Rogan. And, you know, we're doing some science. We're doing some bro science. Is of that porn ruins your brain, man.
People are pursuing dopamine peaks over and over and over, and they...
This is from a 2015 study. Viewing sexual stimuli is associated with greater sexual responsiveness, not erectile dysfunction. Not this.
Make pee-pee disgusting.
So this is kind of a big problem for a lot of these, you know, bro science claims of like, oh, it makes you isolated from your partner. But this study from 2015, what they found is it actually makes people want to like find a partner more. But science says porn isn't on a warpath to destroy men's romantic relationships. Yes, there was a 1989 study that warned watching porn may cause you to lose interest in sex with real people. But when it was replicated in 2017 with 10 times the number of participants, researchers didn't see any relationship between porn consumption and a lack of interest in sexual partners. Oh, great.
There's an additional issue with pornography, which is not often discussed, which is that, remember, guys in particular.
Yeah.
The brain is a learning prediction machine.
Oh, wow.
I'm not trying to say that all pornography is bad, but there are good data to support the idea that if your brain learns to be aroused by watching other people have sex, it is not necessarily going to carry over to the ability to get aroused when you're one-on-one with somebody else.
Right. Well, I'd like to see that data because I just read something totally contradicting that, but so that's okay. This guy has made a whole thing out of this. And what's this guy's name? Andy Huberson. He's the evangelist of porn is going to ruin everything. Honestly, if there were some real good conclusive evidence, some good studies or something that were like, yes, look, pornography is very harmful. It's causing big psychological problems. If that were the case, then we're done. We're done. It's over. But this guy's like, oh, well, if this guy's basically doing this, well, if you're a Virgo, then in the moon sign.
If your moon is in rotation, then you get like pornos.
I'm not saying pornography as a stimulus is bad or good.
Right.
What I'm saying is it, in its availability and its extreme forms, it's a very potent stimulus.
Right.
And very potent stimuli of any kind. Extremely palatable food, extreme pornography, extreme experiences like bungee cord jumping.
Right.
Those set a threshold for dopamine release.
So
and
everything.
Anna will tell you that, and I'm sure she did, that the higher the dopamine peak, the bigger the drop afterwards. And it's not that you drop to baseline, you drop below baseline.
This goddamn video has 2.1 million views in 4 months. So there's a subset of people online, you know, many in the Rogoverse, who they just love this. They love being told to stop watching pornos all the time. They still watch them. No offense to Andy Huberman on this, you know, probably a nice guy. Seems like a nice guy. But this just seems like nonsense. I'm sorry, but 2.1 million views. What exactly are we supposed to take from this? Oh, extreme experiences are extreme. And, you know, they can make you feel different ways. They can make you feel all kind of ways like this. And what this really is, I mean, let's be honest, what this really is old school internet, you know, caffeine pills, one weird trick crap. Hey, person watching this, I got one weird trick for you. Stop watching pornos. Then everything will be just fine. I mean, look at these comments. It's time. This is one of the most liked comments. 11,000 likes on this. 189 replies. It's time for this society to accept that porn is destroying the minds of young men and social media is warping women's minds.
You know, these women, these social media women, we left them out in the rain. We left them in the garage. You know, there's a lot of moisture in there. They got warped.
Actually, if anything, if you've fallen down the rogosphere hole, your mind is warped. Your mind is warped. They did leave you in the moist garage.
I try to stay off of pornography, man. That's one of my biggest arch nemesis.
What, Theo?
Pornography.
Why?
Oh, great.
Because it just weakens me. Yeah.
How so?
I put all my sexual, you know, my fantasies and stuff, they're not mine anymore. You know, they live, you know, somebody created them better than my imagination can.
So if you watch this video, Joe's not really buying this, but skip ahead. This is great. Theo Vaughn on Joe Rogan talking about pornos. Here we go.
But it's definitely made it tougher for me over the years. Because I would have a date set up with a nice girl. And next thing you know, I'm walking through the house and I start thinking about, you know, a little bit of pussy or something. And then some tits or something. I'll even see I'll see a pregnant puppy and see those nipples or something. And the next thing you know, you're on the internet jerking off. And then you...
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, step in here, Joe. Step in here on what Theo's saying, Joe.
You know what I'm saying? Anything could lead a man to jack off.
A pregnant puppy could make you think about human nipples.
Yeah, so to Andy Huberston, there's your answer right there. Who is this 3 to 6% that actually has a real problem with porno? It's guys like Theo Vaughn, who sees a dog, and he's like, I gotta watch a porno now because that dog has got me all. That dog's got me doing this and this.
Weirdos, kooks. We love them. You know, we love them and we love you very much, but you are kooks and you are weird.
Porn is a killer. That's a drug.
You're not like getting excited about.
Think about it.
No,
Theo.
no, I don't do anything. I don't believe in bestiality or anything like that.
Sure, Theo.
But I think if you
don't believe it exists, or
oh, I believe it exists, bro. They caught a dude near me one time with a lamb.
Listen to Joe's laugh here. Check this out.
There,
on those fucking natural born mushrooms.
I know.
What is that wheeze, Joe? Wheezy Joe. What is that, Joe? Fix that. Joe? Okay, but again, peep the comments. No one knows how addicting porn is till they actually quit. Oh man, I was doing this. And where's the other one? Where's the goddamn other button? This video frankly saved my life. Okay, I was addicted to porn since I was 14 years old. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's killing like a lot of. I think it's harming a lot of men, man. I really do.
Do you think that booze should be shut down? Should we make booze illegal? Because that's killing a lot of men too.
No, but
we got Logic Joe. You know, he'll hit you with that wheeze. You get distracted, then he hits you with the logic. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's fine.
Elon Musk is my father.
Also, another guest who Joe Rogan has had on the show is
Iluma.
He said he did like this.
Hi.
Problem, you know, it's now possible for young men to look at more beautiful nude women in one.
We got Jordy. Yeah. Hi.
Problem, you know, it's now possible for young men to look at more beautiful nude women in one day than any man has ever seen, you know, prior to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that any man in history had ever seen.
Oh.
That's not nothing.
Wow.
That's something.
That's something.
And to think that doesn't do anything to you, it's like, no, that's
great.
That likely does something to you.
Oh, great. Wow, what a great analysis from Jordy. Okay, since we're just pondering and pontificating about crap here, nobody ever talks about this. Okay, nobody ever talks about this. People who are not internet native, you know, people who grew up in the 80s or early 90s, whatever, they made entire movies, like Meatballs or whatever those dumb movies were, about like young kids at camp, like spending all day trying to see nudity. Like they devoted their entire being to, what if we saw nudity, man?
What if we saw nudity?
Like just all day thinking about this. These camp teens. Has anybody ever considered that it's better just, okay, there you go. Look at the nudity. And they're, okay, now I can go move on from this. Now I can move on from this. Instead of what the Meatballs kids did.
Which is that, imagine this. Listen to this, what these kids did.
These little turds put a hole into the women's, what did they do? They put a hole into the women's bathroom or something, and they were looking through it. Okay, so what's better, Jordy? So what's better, Jordy, you little pervert, you know?
Jordy, he's dressed up like a little kid on Easter Sunday for some reason. Nobody can figure out why.
He didn't consider the meatballs theorem. Okay? R.M. Brown's meatballs theorem. But that is really what these guys are doing. They're selling people a magic pill, a magic potion, you know, to cure the ails of your life, you know?
Well, guys, it's Wednesday, and frankly, we do what we want, and no one can stop us.
So I hope you're having a good one. Love you guys. And as always, bye-bye.
Oh, hey, guys.
Guess what? You're not even getting the whole show. If you want every episode and a whole bunch of other
subscribe on Patreon.
Subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. Just click the stupid little link below the video in the comments.
See, right there.
There you go. Click it, and that, yep. When you become a patron for as little as 2 bones, you get the Tuesday, Thursday, patron-only episodes. You also get the weekly Book-a-Blega show where we talk about important books. The questions and comments thing where you can ask questions and make comments and all this crap.
And the weekly behind-the-scenes show. All for less than the price of a rancid Charleston chew.
And for only 25 putrid little dollars,
you can become a producer.
That's right, support the show and get your name up here. Look at these people. Look at these people that make the show possible, okay? God. I mean, without these beautiful people, this show goes straight into the dumpster. A rotten, you know, just wet, disgusting dumpster, you know, behind a restaurant. So there's old milk in there. That's where this show ends up without these people. Is that what you want? Okay, I guess it's what you want. I'll just leave. Nope, it's done. It's too late. Okay? Here we go. Here's the dump truck. Here's the dump truck come to pick up the show. This is what would happen with no producers. Thank you.